Hey everyone, welcome to the My ALF Training Care Association webinar. Today we're doing a webinar on some ECC monitoring visits for ECC Extended Congregate Care Licensed Facility. On the webinar with me is Cheryl. How are you doing, Cheryl?
Good, hello.
Doing good. It's a beautiful Monday here in Florida.
You usually say it's my beautiful wife, Cheryl. What, do I not look good today?
It's a beautiful day with my beautiful wife.
Thank you.
Okay. So basically, we're still waiting for the new regulations to come out for facilities. Should be out very soon. New 58A, I assume, updated 429. So we will be waiting for that. And as soon as we get that, we'll be broadcasting a new webinar on that. But for now, we're going to do an ECC monitoring visit. We have a few of them today. And Cheryl, you got anything to add to that, or should we just get right to it?
Let's get right to it. We have 3 facilities, three different surveys.
Okay, we'll start with 6-2.
Oh, 6-2. I'm on it. 888. Okay. Oh, I can go to 6.
Okay.
Completely out of order. Sure. Okay, got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I? Okay.
No, it's fine.
Can you see the screen?
I'm looking at my screen, so
okay.
Yes, I can.
All right. Let me make sure.
This was there.
I want to make sure it's not switching back and forth between us when we talk. Okay. 6-2. All right. So this was an inspection, looks like sometime in September.
August.
Okay.
Not that it matters.
Oh, yeah, August 28th. Oh, there's the facility name. We'll just skip past that. My tech team didn't black that part out. Okay. So basically, they got tagged for medication storage and disposal based on the observation. I love these new survey formats, by the way.
Well, based on the
observation, yeah, and staff interviews, the facility failed to ensure medications that were centrally stored were locked and secured. An observation was conducted on August 28th. When entering the facility, the facility nurse's station, a medication cart with multiple filled medication bottles and medications cards being stored on top of the cart and were not locked or out of reach of others. Some of the medications seen were potassium, antibiotics, water pills, and laxatives.
This could happen to anybody.
Yeah, it's just you know, it's hard. So you just gotta get in the habit of keeping it clear. An interview conducted with employee B, LPN, said she didn't know why the medications were unlocked and on top of the medication cart. She stated, "I don't know why they are here on the cart. They might be discontinued medications." An observation conducted with employee D taking the medications from the top of the medication cart and placing them in a locked medication cart in the nurse's station. An interview conducted with the administrator, she stated that the pharmacy was here doing cart audits and they must have left them there.
Well, that's possible.
Class 3 violation.
The hard thing is you know, it could be completely innocent, and I'm not saying they're guilty of anything anyways, but you know, it's just you always have to just be on your toes, and they can walk in at any minute.
Well, it's hard. I mean, well,
it's hard, yeah.
Just imagine,
you get pulled away.
Here you are. Yeah, you have an emergency. Somebody's about to fall. You have to go run down and help somebody. That particular employee left the cart in a rush, possibly, and class 3.
But I think also you, as an administrator, you should take this as an opportunity at any facility to just remind your staff medications have to be locked. I mean, even sometimes when we come into ours, I find it empty. They're empty pill things because they're going to do the reorders, but they got turned around and, you know, ended up getting somebody a glass of juice and left it sit on the counter for 2 seconds. But even though they're coming right back, that 2 seconds could have been the difference of someone walking in and seeing it and getting in trouble.
Or somebody taking it as well. So, yeah, I guess, I mean, it's all about training, and then also all of your managers should just be something that they watch for to make sure that things aren't left unattended. And every time, if you keep pointing it out and keep pointing it out and keep pointing it out to your staff, they're going to know that it's something you're looking for, and they're going to be trained to do it. So, but
Right.
it is hard to, one thing I would say, I guess, if you're doing audits, is do it in a locked room or behind a door, and then not
That's
out
a
in
good
the
idea.
open. Yeah, and then there's no problem there. So, okay,
The next thing
next.
was staffing standards. Based on the employee record review and interview with the administrator, the facility failed to ensure that 2 out of the 4 sampled employees received annual verification of communicable disease.
Hmm.
This was something they were really looking for last year. I'm sure every year too.
Well, they're talking about TB, right? And I mean, they're not talking
Sure.
about.
The
Okay.
annual, that you have to get it every year.
Yeah, but
So,
that doesn't make sense the way they wrote this, because you don't need a free of communicable disease every year. You
I
need
mean,
a.
I probably said it wrong. It's
No.
verification
I
of,
mean, it says right here. I mean,
I'll go down. Okay.
yeah, it says a record review of employee A revealed there was no documentation of free of communicable disease statement. So maybe
That's the
they
initial
never
one.
had one. Right. Okay.
Right on the data hire on the 2014.
Right.
So they never had one.
For
It's
employee
not in
A,
the
employee B, and the administrator said they did not have that statement.
statement.
But the annual one would be specifically TB. So
Correct.
yeah, that's okay. It would. So maybe they didn't have both, but they got tagged for the communicable disease.
The best thing to do is, what we did is just find a local nurse practitioner, doctor, somebody that you can just send all your staff to when you hire somebody new to get that initial form, and send them with a form too that they just have to sign and put the date and their information.
Yeah, if you don't
Oh,
send them with a form that says what you want it to say, you're
it's
not going
hard,
to get what you want. And
right?
getting it after the fact is almost impossible. So yeah, we have a form that says, that they're free, and be sure to have a space for the doctor's name, license number, address, phone number. Um, we
Get a
had
stamp.
we got tagged because some of our early forms that we had, because we've had employees with us for a long time, some of our early forms didn't have, it had the doctor's signature, but it didn't have their license number,
License
their
number.
name, and their address. And so those forms were in the files because we've had the employees with us for 7 years or whatever it is. And when we do our audits, we'd see the communicable disease form. They went and did it, but we got tagged because it didn't have that. So
Specific information.
yeah. Okay, next is training staff in service. All these tags seem like normal tags, nothing to do with ECC, but it did happen to
It's an
occur on
ACC.
it happened on their monitoring visit. So that's just another fun thing about having a specialty license, right, Cheryl? You get
That's right. More
extra.
inspections.
Okay. Based on employee record review and interview with the administrator, the facility failed to provide in-service training for elopement, emergency procedures, incident reporting, and residence rights for 2 of the 4 sampled employees. So, elopement, emergency preparedness are 2 things that, the facility's got to do, because basically the elopement training is an in-service that should be offered by your facility, and the reason is you should be teaching them your elopement drill, your plan of action when somebody elopes, so everybody's on the same page. If you've read through your elopement drills, I mean, it's like manager on duty calls this person and does this, and this person does this, and they all have different roles. So and the emergency plan is very facility specific as well. So
Right. And you definitely want your employees to know what your procedures are, because some of these things do happen, unfortunately. People do elope or try to escape. Some people go to a doctor's appointment, they don't sign out, and you think they eloped, so you have to put that plan in action, going looking
yeah,
for them. We've
well,
had that happen.
yeah, the family picked him up. So the
Snuck them out.
Yeah. So basically, if the elopement and emergency preparedness, I mean, if it's just part of your orientation training, um, and on your checklist before they even start work, um, that's the best way to avoid it. Okay.
Okay, more training on the next page. They didn't have the HIV AIDS training,
1 out of 4.
right?
Okay.
So that was, another thing. They have to have within 30 days of hire.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have the DNR. That's another 30-day requirement.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
best to get it before they start work because,
30
just
days goes by
everything.
quick.
Just like a residence file, like don't get everything you can possibly get ahead of time. I mean, only under rare circumstances do we let the 1823 go after move-in because, once they move in, that clock starts ticking, 30 days, tick tock, and it's so much harder to get. And the same is true with these employees' trainings. The good thing is that you could take all of these trainings on my ALF training, and HIV is only $5, so it's pretty simple. Pretty simple.
All right, that one's
Incident
done.
reporting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do not resuscitate orders. Yep, the DNRO. We have the DNRO as well. That's $5. You can buy it all in a package of courses for $20. I'll give you a lot of classes. Okay, so that's done with the 6.2. Let's go on to do you still see the survey, Cheryl? Or
Oh, let me check. I see you.
okay, let's move on to the next one. Would be 8.4. 8.4.
Yep, got it.
Okay. Okay. Once again, another ECC monitoring visit. This sounds like it was a Medicaid program integrity and health quality assurance. So it's both Medicaid inspection, which we heard about from the attorney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it sounds like it's still same as an inspection. So they were cited for resident care, resident rights, and facility procedures. Based on the observation, interview, and record review, the assisted living facility failed limited restraints to half bed rails for 1 out of 3 residents.
They had
That
full
was the
bed rails.
citation. Right, so here's the findings. They toured the facility and they found full bed rails on resident number 1's bed. And at 9:05 a.m., an interview was conducted with staff A and staff B. Both staff stated that resident number 1 was not on hospice, and A and B staff stated resident 1 was on hospice, but they took her off. So that you can have full bed rails in a facility if they're on hospice and hospice
Deems
writes
it
an order that
yeah.
it's that they have to have it as absolutely medically necessary and it's for safety. But they didn't have the proper documentation. This sounds like this resident was taken off hospice. So they interviewed the ALF manager, and the manager stated that resident 1 was no longer on hospice and was discharged from hospice the week prior. And the manager stated that she did not know who put up the full bed rails, and the full bed rails were used when resident 1 was on hospice. So they just looks like it was an oversight, and they never took them down.
Well, a lot of the medical equipment companies will automatically deliver with full bed rails. So
Sure. You have to request that.
Yeah, I don't even let them install it. I'm like, no. Yeah, if I get a call a lot of times, and they're saying, "Hey, we're delivering the hospital bed for Susie Q," and I say, "Okay, well, you don't have full bed rails, right? Because we can't have full bed rails." And then they say, "Okay, I have a set of half bed rails," and But it also starts with the doctor who's ordering the hospital bed, if that's the case, because you just got to remind them that you can't have full bed rails unless it's a requirement by hospice.
So then they had interviewed the administrator after the manager, and the administrator stated that the handyman for the facility put the full bed rails on the resident's bed, and the facility staff did not know how to shorten the rails. So right there, it should have been.
Yeah, but even those full bed rails, I don't think that they collapse fully down to half. I don't have to look because, I know they do collapse, but anyway. So, but
they shouldn't have been put on.
yeah.
They should have. That's just something that, if you have someone on hospice with full bed rails, when they come off hospice, you have to put it on your mental checklist or some sort of a checklist to remind yourself.
That we do is, because I'm sure every place ends up with a lot of extra hospital beds and bed rails. We have extra half bed rails that we keep, and if we have to, we just throw them on. So, worst case scenario, that's what we do, and so.
So they even went even further, and it said that they contacted the resident's daughter, and the daughter stated that the resident was on hospice and taking off hospice. I guess they just kept asking people. So, and then they did a record review, and it revealed that the resident was discharged from hospice, that they didn't need hospice services any longer. So, well, basically, they forgot to take the bed rails off. Unfortunately.
I wish they could just say, okay, you're not supposed to have this, take them off, and then we fix it, and then we all just move on. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if everything wasn't just everything was a citation? It's like,
right.
if they didn't have ill intent, I mean, I
guess that's why you hire, you can hire consultants or someone to come in and do a mock survey. And, hopefully they'll catch those things for you prior to an inspection. But, really you should be, as the administrator, you could do those things yourself.
Yeah.
Go through once a month.
If there's any consultants listening who do those type of things, we'd love to do an interview with you. So we would do them, but we're too busy with life, and so I'm sure people would like to hear from you. Okay, so next survey, we'll close out 84 and then go to 888.
Mm-hmm. Another ECC.
And 888, share. Okay. Okay. Staffing standards. First citation based on record review and interview. The facility failed to have documentation of freedom from tuberculosis or symptoms of communicable disease on an annual basis for 2 out of the 5 residents.
So I think everybody should go check their files today after hearing this, and make sure you have all your TB forms.
Yep, TB is something that recurs. The medication training reoccurs. The communicable disease is one-time statement. The fingerprints, of course, recur every 5 years. CPR, first aid recur. But I would say that, the employee files have the most you have to keep up with of all. Resident files, there's a lot to do, but as far as training and medication and those type of things, those are things that'll slip through pretty easily. All right, here's an ECC tag, Cheryl. We found one.
Right.
Okay. All right, go ahead. You want to read this one?
No, I like hearing your voice.
Oh,
you go.
Not all the time, you don't.
No, not at all.
Based on record review and interview, the facility failed to have an updated health assessment for 2 out of 6 sampled residents at least annually once they're receiving ECC services. So you need an updated health assessment form every year, similar to a Medicaid recipient as well. Not every 3 years like a normal standard ALF. So resident number 1's health assessment done by primary physician was not dated.
Pretty much that's it. It wasn't dated. Yeah, they weren't dated. So
for the record review showed this health assessment was done by his primary physician, was dated on May 8th. It was not dated.
Not dated. That's those smaller oversights. Sometimes I'll audit the files 2 or 3 times and I don't see
The
it the
last
first time,
assessment
second
date
or
was
third.
March 12th. Okay. Well, anyway, that's basically what it is. Administrator acknowledged the deficiencies that the health assessment for resident 1 was not dated by the physician, uh, even though they probably had the health assessment according to the they missed the date. So you got to look at that. You got to make sure that it's filled out properly, right? The health assessment, that's the person is appropriate to be there, but also to make sure the signature's there, the license number, the date, all of those other things on that page 4 or 5 or whatever it is.
Right.
Okay.
And that's it for those. Big,
That's that. Yeah.
I know they're not bad. There's not a whole lot of findings, so
Well, a lot of the similar things. So
sure.
I'm going to go check our employee files right now.
I know. Go see if everybody has everything.
Yeah, we audit our files quite often, but things still fall through the cracks with us as well. So, one of the reasons we do this is so we all can learn. It's not like we're preaching to you and telling you we have all the answers, but this is a sharing experience so we can all get better. Anything else, Cheryl?
That's it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.